it's, holy smokes. Anyway, the roads, if there's a road, it had these, well, they call them potholes, but you could fit your car in it. And you go inside it and then outside of these potholes, and yeah, I've never seen it like it. And then the power's out, and then while we were there last week, there was a gas outage. So there was no gas in the whole city. And so all these taxis, these free taxis, would be lined up for miles, hoping that there would be a gas delivery to one of the gas stations. And so there were people on the side of the street that they saw the gas was coming down. And so they would go and fill up these little buckets full of gas, and then they'd fill them into 1 liter sort of wine bottles.
Yeah.
And then they would sell them for like 10 times the price, and they'd be pouring them in your car to get back.
Wow.
It was just
primitive. So just.
It was something else.
That's what Hayden has kept saying, and he said it's just like a steam room, and their apartment is filled with bugs, but
they have water, at least, that they can drink.
They have water, yeah. Oh,
most people don't have water.
Yeah. He said a lot of people don't have front doors, like they go around. But he was in a more rural area, so maybe that was true there. So you were teaching lean manufacturing, and the bishop in your ward up at UVU.
No, the bishop, his bishop there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, how did you connect? How did you connect with that group?
The bishop of his ward there in Brazzaville.
Yes.
Went to BYU Hawaii. And we made a connection through when he went there.
Oh.
Because he was part of this organization when he was there.
That's so interesting.
So he's
is he from the Congo?
Yeah,
And he went to BYU Hawaii?
But then he went back, and that's the real crazy thing is
he went back to help.
After leaving, I don't know anyone that would go back, but he really has this mission in his mind that he needs to help his people.
That's astonishing, isn't it?
It's
wow.
And so now 2 of his brothers are coming to UVU in May.
Oh my gosh.
If they can get over, because the visas are hard to get.
Are they? I wonder.
Yeah, I think anyone from that part of the world is hard to get into the West, because they don't think they'll go back.
Oh, well, yes. That would be not a surprise, right?
Yeah. They have to have an exit visa, basically, right?
Well, they have to, excuse me, just to get back.
Can I get you some water?
No, I'm fine, thanks. But I think the difficulty is once they leave and come to the West, they're not going to go back.
No, I can guess, yeah.
So.
And so your specialty is manufacturing, is business.
I'm an entrepreneurship guy, so I teach entrepreneurship there. And we went from the School of Business over to do this.
Okay.
And part of that we do lean with US Synthetic. They're a diamond manufacturer.
Really?
And so they've got a really good lean process. And we realized over there, I can show you pictures.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you want that. I don't think I got a picture of your son though. I was a little bit of culture shock while I was there.
You think you're prepared, and then you're not prepared.
Should have brought the video. I have some video there, but it's back in, my in-laws live in Washington. This is actually part of St. George.
Yes. Diamond Valley, it's 13 miles outside of St. George.
Because my wife lived for like 20 years in Ivans.
Oh.
But I'm from Canada, so.
Interesting. And you teach at UVU. And tell me your last name again, I missed that part.
Gough.
Gough? Vance Gough?
Yes.
Okay, and that's spelled G-O-F-F?
G-O-U-G-H. So here's where they have church. And this is my assistant dean there. He had a little smartphone, and all the kids were like, you have a smartphone? So they were just crowded around playing games. But that's where he translated for me right there. It's just a little tiny building. It's not owned by the church, they rent.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
Just a room, a couple rooms.
Can I get that on the camera here? Barely. I'm recording this for us. I hope you don't mind, Vince.
Wow.
I'm going to show it to his father.
Yeah, that's for you. That's made out of ebony.
Isn't that incredible? Wow.
Did I have a picture of him?
So how did he look, Vince?
He looks awesome.
He speaks well, huh? French?
He was showing us the grubs that they eat. We went to the market with them.
Right.
So we got some pictures
That's
of the grubs.
terrific.
And the fish. Is he in that one? No, he's not.
So are you going back? Oh, here comes my husband. Are you going back over? Are you?
We might be back next year. And that's how I was telling him. He's going to the Y in the fall, right? In poli-sci?
Yes.
My undergrad's in poli-sci too. So,
oh, wow.
But he wants to. We've been going, we went last year and this year. If he wants to join us, there would be a good chance that he could go back and the university would pay the bill. So
Wow. Wow.
So they pay for it, the kids to go over, or they have to chip in there?
well, we've been running the program, and then we raise money. So we got some philanthropists to help pay for getting the trip over there to help these people, because we've created a number of businesses now. We'll have about 12 of these kiosks running, and we got to help train each of the entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
The average wage is about $2.50 a day.
Wow.
He told us the story, he told me this story, he said, so basically, he said people will, they'll be hungry, so they'll sell their shoes for a meal, and then go dig in the garbage for another pair of shoes. And that's how they...
If they wear shoes.
If they, yeah.
But then there's some people, like most people, are like dressed to the nines.
Hey, you will never believe, this is Vance
Hello, sir.
Gough.
Yes.
He was with Hayden last week.
No
on
way.
On an entrepreneurial mission to set up kiosks, UVU, business entrepreneur. Here, sit down. This is my
Okay.
husband, Kevin Reed.
Nice to meet you, Kevin.
Here, Kevin, you can sit here if you want.
That's pretty incredible.
And so he's going to have to go through all of
Oh,
it
no
again,
problem.
but he said Hayden translated for him. So
Yeah, so we were at church, and he was assigned as my translator there, and he's pretty amazing. His language is awesome there.
Is it?
And the people are really smart. He's the only white guy for like 20 miles, though, so...
because his companion is
Hello,
is black.
Goodbye.
Well, and the other missionary in his apartment is Elder Reeve, who's his cousin. That
Really?
He met for the first time in his mission.
We never
Lives in
met.
Washington.
We only met Washington State? Or
Washington here. He
Utah?
lives here, and
Township.
they moved from Illinois to St. George. My husband's setting up a camp because he teaches survival. That's why he looks
Awesome.
all grimy.
I don't know how I look, but
Oh gosh,
You
so
look
pretty
okay.
awesome.
scary.
I've been.
My in-laws live in Washington, and that's where we're staying right now. I had to come pick my wife because I was away for the week, 2 weeks, so...
Wow.
So he just got back and came, and Dad said, someone just came and had seen Hayden. I was trying to envision who this could possibly be.
No.
Now you were there just on a short-term mission?
No,
Well, we were only there for 9 days.
setting up these business
But we
kiosks.
worked
It's
with
called
UVU.
lean manufacturing
We taught lean manufacturing,
through
so...
UVU.
But it,
So explain what that is.
it's
lean.
basically how to manufacture things, looking for continuous improvement and making it better every time you go through.
So
For
Debbie's
individuals?
Organization,
Like
for
companies.
companies. So we were doing we built a little factory with them there, and so they're building these solar powered kiosks. Because as I was saying, the people have 2 or 3 cell phones because the battery will die and they have no way of charging the battery because there's no power all the time. And so they'll have 2 or 3 cell phones, and there have been these little yellow kiosks on almost every corner where they've used a generator to charge a couple 12-volt batteries, and then they use those to charge these batteries for
Oh my
the
gosh.
cell phones.
Wow.
So we saw last year that there's a problem here in doing this. How could we do it better? So
Yeah.
we got a couple of solar panels and then linked them to the kiosk, and it charges the batteries. It's 100% sun there all the time. 'cause
Right.
It's right on the equator, right? So
So
tons
solar
of
would
sun.
be the way to go.
If we could go solar, that country would know. But actually, there's so many resources in that country.
Yeah.
They've got more oil than the U.S. They've got
What?
diamonds. They've got gold. They've got everything's there, but they just keep getting.
They're correct.
First of all, the French and the Belgians just raped the country,
Right.
and then finally, in what 68, I think is when they got independence.
Independence.
Um,
From the
And
Soviets.
they
were
got
there.
Idi Amin and.
well, that was the next
Yeah.
country over, but
Yeah.
they just came and kept doing what they knew how to do, and so.
Yes.
We made a presentation in front of 6 members of parliament there, and they were all dressed up and had their limousines outside, and then at the same time, everyone's just destitute.
Yeah, just
So they're still pulling out all these resources. France, though, they won't put a refinery. So there's a big gas thing. There's tons of oil,
Yeah.
but they're sending their raw oil to France, and then they have to buy it shipped back as gasoline. It's like,
And they won't put a refinery
Somebody
in.
should. Chinese will probably do it.
well, the Chinese are there,
Right.
but the Chinese build these huge stadiums to try to give back, sort of thing, but then no one's allowed inside. So every few blocks you'll see this beautiful big place that's been built by the Chinese,
No one.
and yet it's all like there's more razor wire there than our military has. It's
Just
just
what Hayden said, he said that the Chinese had built lots of infrastructure, they've just expended a lot of money.
but they fall apart because no one uses it. And
Yeah, well, and the Chinese are taking what they want, so. Wow, that is
Yeah.
so fascinating.
And so you were there, over there doing this, and then he was your interpreter?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
we were doing this in his ward, so in the middle of Brazzaville there.
Mhm.
So
He was
the
saying
guy
that,
we were working for was the bishop of the ward he's in,
and the
Okay.
and the
bishop,
state president is the bishop's father, and they were in that. He's in that state.
and then explain the bishop had been at BYU Hawaii.
Yeah, he
And-
went in 2009 or 10. I think he graduated in 2012.
Wow.
And then so he got his patriarchal blessing and said he needed to come back, and so he went back. But he served his mission in the DRC, just
Over the border.
other.
What a great
Yeah.
place to go.
Yeah, my old bishop just got back last year as the mission president of the DRC, but they won't allow white elders there.
Oh,
So-
Right, and, you know, pretty much, they just stay in the capital, I think.
although,
No, they do go out, but it's mostly, I think, when I talked, there was missionaries that go there from Ivory Coast or from Chicago, and
because
that's the way
Hayden
it works.
he's had missionaries from the DRC as his companions, like
Oh,
up
yeah.
in Cameroon and up in,
Yeah.
so,
It's all from that Central Africa area that they're taking care of there, but yeah, there's no white elders because their lives are in nature across the river.
Across the
Across
Because
the
it's
border.
just across the river is,
Yeah.
I mean, it's astonishing.
Kinshasa.
Yeah, how close they are.
and the temple.
yeah, we almost got to go to the open house, but they wouldn't let us cross the river because we're
What?
white.
Because,
We'd have to have a separate visa to get there,
Oh my
and they don't.
gosh.
That's difficult to get. But between the two cities or the two countries, they have free access back and forth. But there's 25 million people that live in Kinshasa across the border.
I know.
It's
It's,
I mean,
it's
That
80
is
million
insane.
people.
I mean, we just can't comprehend, you know, LA is 10 million people.
But this is total destitution, though.
Yeah.
Like,
And Rio is about that. Mexico City is 40 million people
Wow.
living in that.
Just how
you know.
compact.
well,
it
the
we
is.
just don't-
bishop's
we just
house
don't understand
has
cities.
a little toilet bowl, but no lid or anything else, and it's a bucket flush, so you have to take your water from outside on a little spigot and then pour it. But it's the only toilet I saw while we were there.
Where was that?
In
That's
the
the
bishop's
bishop's
house.
house. But the bishop's house is about the size of this room,
Wow.
Yeah.
you know, and it's
He's-
there's no air
he's-
conditioning or anything. It's just, but he had a TV. I mean, he's doing well, right? So,
Yeah.
but most of the places, there'd be kids walking down the street. The really cool thing was how happy the people were, and you'd see kids. They don't have smartphones or anything, so they're just playing outside. Right? A soccer ball will go for weeks at a time, and the girls would be sitting playing hand games and singing. You know, it was like well,
Childhood.
we could learn something about that. You know,
So Hayden was your translator. How do you do?
he was awesome.
Was he?
Look at
I'm
this.
from Canada, and
What do we have here?
Ebony. A black swan, Kevin, it's a sign. A black
Well, what-
swan. And this goes on here, so we have to
I think
glue
it's
this.
somehow there.
We have to.
It was just in the baggie that he gave us. So
And this wing has to be glued because it comes out.
Okay.
But it's ebony. Isn't that? I'm just.
Super ironwood is super hard.
yeah, it's on the-
I'm astonished.
I don't know how they can. Oh,
they're amazing with tools. Like we're doing this construction, and part of it needed some metal to be worked, so we had a metal worker, and he could come and do stuff, and the other was this woodworker. My hobby's woodworking, but the only tool this guy had was an old rusty handsaw, and he was doing all this stuff with, and I'm sure they build out with things like that. Maybe one chisel that's all damaged, and that's what they'd be going through. It's just, and they have nothing like. We said, like, to me, kept my, well, just go to Home Depot and get, there's no thing like Home Depot in there. And so we went to the Chinaman store sort of thing, which was like their Home Depot, but it was a huge place, but they'd have maybe every 30 or 40 feet a little table with a few things on it.
How do they
And
even get
tractor
those
every now and then.
supplies?
Well, it came right from China. Everything there was made in China. And so they just send a boat down. But it takes 3 months to order something if you want something. So we were trying to say and teach them how, as part of the lean, to, well, after you do a coat of paint, you do a light sanding, and then you do the other one to look better, right? That's pretty basic
Right.
stuff. 60 grit sandpaper is the only thing they had. They couldn't get anything finer than that. So how do you can't even do that then. So
No.
everything was shoddy, but lots of razor wire. So
Hmm.
the razor wire is interesting.
every building had huge bars in the door and razor wire around it with big walls around, at least in the city where we were.
That's
So
how South Africa.
every home had
Every home has a 12-foot wall with glass embedded in the top. And
Right.
great-
Is that what you
great
served?
bar. No,
He was in New Mexico, but I was in Guatemala where it was just a hut and a dirt floor. And
Yeah, I've been there. We were helping a orphanage there, right on the river.
Okay.
But that was third world. This is, your son's serving like 120 third world. It's just,
That's what he said the other day. He goes, the church here is not like the church at home.
Well, he said it's like in the 1830s is like
He
how
goes,
basic.
it's just
the-
like, the most senior person we have has been a member of the church for 14 years.
Right.
You know? That's the state president, you know, or whatever.
well,
And it
The
just
bishop's father, yeah.
yeah, but the state president, his wife died while we were there. And she's my age. She's like 50.
Wow.
And the average age there is 60 for mortality rate.
Wow.
And I asked, because we went by this mortuary.
Yeah.
I know your son wasn't with us then, but we went by this mortuary, and there was thousands of people there and all these caskets, and I'm like, what's going on? And the bishop, Ingo, he said, yeah, we have about 40 or 50 deaths a day. And I'm like, what?
Oh my goodness.
He says, yeah, the hospitals kill people. And I was like, okay, come on, you're joking with me. The hospitals don't kill people. He's like, no, they take them in there and the doctor decides which they'll make more money from, if I cure you or I kill you.
Gee.
Well, they paid either way. And I'm like, you're just joking. He's just saying that. Well,